In this video, I'm going to talk about my journey to Pixar Animation Studios. Here's kind of like my journey. So I grew up in Toronto, Ontario. I've moved a lot growing up. Our family, I was born in India, we moved to Malaysia, then Canada, and then Pennsylvania. And that was mainly because of my dad's job. So throughout my childhood, I always had an interest in building things. I loved watching like all the art shows on Canadian television. A lot, like Art Attack was a really good one. There was some other, I loved watching Mr. Rogers. There were some really cool like intermission art shows. I also like Pengu. It was like this little claymation short that was so cute, and I think that was like so cool that they made that with clay. At that time, I don't think I was too into like the technical aspects of it. I just love the storytelling and the little things you can convey with it. And I was a really shy kid growing up. My first language was not English, so I pretty much learned it as I was in school, talking to people. Throughout middle school, I loved creating projects. Like, we would do so many scrapbookings, biographies, made things like really pretty and like really fun, even with like popsicle sticks, construction paper, cutting out like images, scrapbooking. Like, all of that was like my favorite part of school. I think my parents were pushing me more towards the academics, but I think art was just something that made me happy, like genuinely happy growing up. I was not so great at 2D drawing. Like, I would try, like we'd go to the library in Brampton at that time. I'd always get these how to draw books, how to draw faces, how to draw eyes. I was never into 2D that much. I feel like I could never grasp that perspective. I wasn't so good at that. I wanted to get better at drawing, so I went to Saturday art classes, and I got to meet some cool people that were really good at it. 2D drawing wasn't really my thing. And then in 8th grade, we got to kind of pick high schools, and a lot of my friends were going to like these art schools, these like drama schools, and I obviously wanted to go to one of those too. But my dad like took me to the open houses for those schools, and I saw my friends and I was like, oh, that's so cool, they're probably gonna go here, but I'm not. He just took me just to go see it. I knew that I wasn't gonna go there, but it was just fun checking it out. So I ended up going to like this gifted school. I did not enjoy that. It was too academic for me. So due to the recession in 2010, my dad's job got moved to a small town called Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. That's where I went to high school. So we packed our bags, moved to this town. We didn't know anyone. It was like a farm town. There were like cows and like a barn, and it was just like, what are we doing here? Why did we move from such an amazing city with like amazing friends? It was really hard making friends in a new high school where there's a lot of cliques and people knew each other already. It's hard kind of going through that. But that was also a time where I kind of started exploring my creative side. I didn't have much to do. I never went out to any parties. First of all, I wasn't allowed to. Kind of like harnessing my creative side. And you're never too late to start. I mean, I started getting into 3D modeling, kind of just touching the surface of it in my senior year of high school. And I pretty much knew nothing about it until my art teacher in junior year, before the year was ending. I asked him for any like books I can get. So he gave me a book, this big giant book on Blender. And at that time, online resources weren't really a thing, so we were kind of learning from books and trying to get as much information as we can. So I remember that summer, I literally spent all my time reading that book and trying to recreate all the stuff in the computer. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, I felt like, I don't know, it felt magical. Like, I was also watching a lot of like Harry Potter at that time when I was making my first animation, and I was like, oh my god, it's so magical. Like, I wanted to create something like Harry Potter. I think I created this was my first animation, which was this Harry Potter castle. It wasn't good, but it was just so exciting being able to like create something that's like your own. And I started creating like a lot of different short films. I applied to like there's this technology student association at my school. We went to like competitions. I think I did Doodle for Google. That was another thing. Yeah, and I never really won. I wasn't really expecting to win. I would get more like honorable mentions, a little keychain or something, a certificate of completion, and I would be fine with it. I mean, I was just happy that there was this one competition, this greeting card competition, where I designed this beautiful 3D like ornament, and like there's these penguins sitting on the ornaments like sleighing or something. And I didn't win, and I emailed the person, the competition. I'm like, why didn't I win? What did I do wrong? I thought that was kind of funny. And then college decisions were coming around. This was a really hard part for me because I knew I wanted to do art, and my parents weren't okay with it. They were like, you can't get a career with an art degree. You can't do this, you can't do that. And I was like, okay, I guess I will study computer science and then maybe like do art as like a plan B, or I don't know. I was kind of figuring things out. I wasn't sure. Like, I really didn't know. I knew one thing that would help was moving out of the house, and that's something I was pushing for. And like living in a dorm and like kind of having my freedom. I think that really helped shape who I am now. So I studied computer science for the first 2 years of college, but then I switched to art, switching majors, and I did that. But I didn't tell my parents necessarily. They kind of found out later, and they were not happy with it. Yeah, there's like a journey to like becoming an artist in a Desi family, and that's for like another video. I started my first day as an art student, and it just felt right. Everything was just like, okay, I get this. There was some conceptual theories and some more experimentative processes that I went through that I wasn't too familiar with, but there's so much I learned. Like, I wouldn't be the artist I am today if it weren't for Carnegie Mellon. I have to say, they did teach me a lot of things that I use. A lot of conceptual, like storytelling, all of that was super helpful. They didn't have too many like 3D courses, so a lot of that I ended up learning on my own. And I remember some of my assignments in school would be criticized a lot for looking too Disney or Pixar, and you kind of gotta do what you gotta do. I remember one summer I applied to like a bunch of animation jobs. It was 2 summers actually, I didn't get in. I never got in, I didn't hear back. I applied to like a lot of animation jobs since I was an art student then, and I got rejected from everything because my reel wasn't so good at that time. I didn't know that. I thought it was amazing at that time, but not according to the recruiters. So I think that summer I kind of spent my time in a computer lab at school, kind of like cleaning, dusting. I'm like, why am I doing this? So I pretty much quit. I felt really depressed and anxious. Like, did I make the wrong choice? Were my parents right after all? Maybe I should have listened to them. What am I doing? What do I do now? Like, that was a really hard time. And I was also going through a breakup, and yeah, things couldn't have been worse, you know? And one thing that really hyped me up or like made me excited was the SIGGRAPH conferences every summer. I've been to 2 as a student volunteer. So I would volunteer at SIGGRAPH, which is a technical animation conference where a lot of new work, new animation methods, new movies, workflows, emerging tech. This is a great opportunity for people in school or just anyone in general that want to network with animation industry like Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks. Everybody is there looking at portfolios. This is a great way to meet them one-on-one. Secondly, you are gonna meet some amazing friends. I've met so many awesome people through SIGGRAPH. Like, I still talk to them. Yeah, pretty much after these conferences, I would like start working on something new. And I remember this particular conference, I was going through a lot. Like, my parents were really not very supportive. It was just really tough for me. My parents kind of just telling me all the time, like, why are you doing this? Just quit, it's not gonna work out. Like, they weren't really supportive. I wish they were, but maybe the fact that they weren't pushed me, I don't know. I really don't know. But I just remember I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna channel all of this into like something that's gonna make me happy, something that's gonna be rewarding at the end. Yeah, so I think for 6 months straight when that year started, I was just working. I had my school stuff, and then I had like my reel that I had to create. My school stuff I kind of kept to the side. Like I was like, okay, I'll do enough. I'm not gonna go over and above my schoolwork, because my schoolwork's not gonna get me a job. It's my reel, your portfolio, everything that's gonna get me a job. So I put all my focus on that. An internship that I really wanted to score was the Pixar undergraduate program. I will talk more about this, but this is the most amazing internship experience I've had. And that was my goal, literally create a reel, spend like 6 months working on it because February was the deadline. And I remember using all the computers in the clusters in the computer labs at night, rendering, modeling. I remember one time it was snowing so much, it was 3 a.m., there was a snowstorm. I literally like walked in like 3 feet of snow. I remember taking an Uber back to my dorm in like 4 a.m. Yeah, it was a lot of work. Like I even spent like my birthday, my New Year's, just kind of working. I kept working because I knew I wanted this like so bad. And I finally submitted my application to Pixar on February. Always important to have a mindset and work toward it. I was a little more risky because that's kind of who I am. I went kind of all in, put all my stakes into this one thing that I didn't even know if I was gonna get, right? That's just who I am, because I felt like it's now or never. So I remember I was home at spring break and I got a call from San Francisco. It said San Francisco, and I was like, oh my God, this might be it. And I was really praying. I was like, I hope this is Pixar. And it was a recruiter from Pixar. And I'm actually getting there. And had 2 interviews with Pixar. One was with the recruiter, the other one was more technical. They kind of asked me questions about my reel, and like how I made certain things. I can talk about my reel in another video, but I remember that day, April 4th, I got a call from the recruiter saying I got in, and I just like cried. I listened to like a lot of like Disney soundtracks, and I was like, oh my God. So I pretty much like packed my bags, and I was going to, this is my first time traveling alone to California and living there for 3 months. It was all new to me, but so exciting. And I highly recommend this program to anyone in school, because you can only do this program if you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior. So it was a very rigorous internship. I really enjoyed it, made like amazing friends, best friends. And one moment I can't forget is just like stepping in front of the gates of Pixar. It was so unreal, because I always saw it in like Google Images, documentaries. God, it was just like mind blown. And all of us interns felt that way, because like we were all experiencing this for the first time, right? So we were like bonded through that, and it was just so amazing. And when we're not working on the weekdays, on the weekends, we'd go to the city, go through take the BART to San Francisco, go explore like Sausalito. There was Ghirardelli Square, Pier 39. Like there was so many things we did outside of work that really kind of helped our group kind of bond, and it was just so amazing. So yeah, and I remember that last day of the internship, we were all kind of like sobbing. We didn't know when we'll see each other or even come back. We all kind of departed back to our schools. I was finishing up my senior year at college. I was graduating that December actually. So I had 3 more months to graduate. So I created another reel with my Pixar stuff. I put in some of my old work, and I just pretty much just started applying everywhere. Applied to Blue Sky Studios, Disney, whoever was hiring at that time. I think fall internships are or fall jobs or apprenticeships are a little easier because not many people apply to them. I think it's summer ones that are really competitive. So I think it worked out. I got an interview from Disney. They really liked my reel. So I got a job even before my senior year ended, and which was really exciting. And yeah, I've got to work with the awesomest people at Disney, the artists I've been looking up to. I got to work on Ralph Breaks the Internet, Frozen 2, and Raya the Last Dragon. These were all super fun and such a blessing to be able to work on. I also worked on a lot of experimental short films that are on Disney Plus right now. And yeah, and one thing I really enjoyed were the wrap parties. So these are parties where you kind of have a preview screening of the film before it's released. And after the film, after everyone watches the film, you kind of just drink, party, dance, eat a lot of food, take pictures. It's super fun. Living in Burbank, again, I got to do like a lot of awesome stuff. I had a really close friend at Disney, and every weekend we just go out and do all the Hollywood things, like go to Jimmy Kimmel, go to like a Billie Eilish concert, go sit in the audience of America's Got Talent. Like there was just so many fun things that we were able to do. So currently I am at Pixar Animation Studios. I am working on a new feature film that hasn't been announced yet. And this is my journey, and I hope it inspires some of you who are in school or taking like online classes. Hard work will pay off, so keep working. Like I didn't magically make like a awesome 3D model. I had so many shitty models before that. I had so much shitty work before that. If you take a look at like my Instagram, yeah, hard work and dedication really does it. I think that is way more important than just talent. And having a good personality is another thing. Not that you can just model, but you know, kind of having fun doing it is important. And being passionate about the films, because essentially you're making these films, so you gotta like them to make them, is another one. Life is short, so do what you love.